Hey guys, I'm Hunter. This is Sky.
We bought one-way tickets to Colombia,
And we want to bring you with us. In our last video, we left off leaving Gloria's family. And again, we just want to thank them so much through this video here. They really took good care of us, served us well, fed us great food, paid for everything, and were just really kind. So we're very grateful for them. So we hop on a bus early in the morning.
Yeah, very early.
Very early, because one reason was in Ibagué they have odd and even days where if your license plate ends in an odd number, you can't drive in the city between 6:30 and 9:30 or something like that. So we left early in the morning at like 5:30.
That's when the bus left.
We hopped on the bus right away. Right?
Yeah, right away.
Literally, we got there, hopped on the bus.
It
was like boarding in 5 minutes, so we climbed on. And this was an interesting bus ride because about 2 hours in, our bus got stopped.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what was happening. And I set my timer on my phone after being stopped for like 10 minutes. And it was like an hour and a half that we were stopped there. A huge line of traffic. Cars were coming, but no one was going. And we didn't know what happened. So people started getting out of the bus and just like getting on their phones or whatever. And we were looking like far ahead in the distance, and there was
just like a lineup of cars
and trucks and
everyone's like car was off. It was crazy, and we ended up being there for like an hour.
Over an hour
Stuck.
An hour and a half. Yeah.
So luckily we didn't have anywhere to be.
We did. We were gonna go paragliding that morning,
but she canceled as well because of the weather.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked out.
It worked out. But we were a couple hours late to our destination, so we ended up getting into this little town of Buena Vista a little early, and we decided to get some food before we were supposed to be at this coffee farm that we were gonna stay at, have dinner at, have a coffee tour at, and go paragliding from there the morning after. All of this was like $65 for two people. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Super cheap.
So we make it to this little town in Buena Vista, and we have lunch at this really cool restaurant with this amazing view of...
Can you do that again?
This amazing view of just the valley. We're up on the mountains, and we're just eating food and fantastic soup and a whole plate of food and some juice, some milkshakes.
That was the soup. Sancocho soup.
More than likely, there's a very popular soup here, sancocho, with chicken and arcacha, like a tuber, and just so good. If you come to Colombia, you gotta get sancocho soup, sopa. So, that was fantastic. We had some good food, and then we give Don Leo's son Diego a call, and he comes to pick us up in a car, and two other European travelers come, boyfriend and girlfriend, meet with at the same time. We hop in Diego's car, and he drives 5 minutes to the farm, and we get settled in and situated, and then we begin the tour. We're waiting for a translator, the only local English-speaking local that lives there in Buena Vista, and he came and translated for us, which was fun.
Yeah.
And it was nice to hear Don Leo speak. Unfortunately, we didn't get any footage or photos of that time, but at the beginning of the tour, it was really cool. He sat us down and he told us his life story. And amazing life story. What are some points that you remember from his life story? He gave us a really good background of Colombia, how Colombia and Brazil were the main exports of coffee in the world, and something happened in the 1950s to Brazil's crop to where Colombia's coffee shot up from like 60 cents a pound to like $4 a pound. So
crazy.
All the coffee prices soared. A bunch of small coffee farmers became rich because of that. and a lot of the farm workers were treated poorly after the families got money. And he was a farm worker at the time working in coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, because of the lackadaisical government of Colombia, these forces started to rise. These guerrillas, these people, guerrillas, um, started to gain power because they, by force, would take over these farms, saying, you know, you're going to let us purchase your property, or we're going to kill you and take your farm by force. And a lot of people fled. A lot of people sold their farms to them for little to nothing. And some people, I think just those two things from what I remember.
So Don Leo was somebody who fled his farm and went to work on a marijuana and cocaine farm for a group of guerrillas, because he could make more money there, even though it was more dangerous. But he said a lot of farmers would do that because there was just no money farming on their farm, so they went and worked for these dangerous groups of people, but they made more money. So one thing that stood out to me during his story was that after he realized how dangerous it was, he decided that he had to get out of there. So one night, in the middle of the night, he fled this cocaine farm that he was on and just was set out on a journey to find his way home, and got lost in the jungle for countless number of days.
He doesn't even remember how many days, and he ended up getting rescued by indigenous people who he might have worked for. We're not exactly sure. Maybe they helped him get to the nearest town, and eventually he had some money left over for him and his wife and his family, and they all synced back up again. He was able to purchase some land, and they've been farming there ever since. He's had a long struggle since then of people taking advantage of him in terms of exporting the coffee and the crop, but today he lives in peace, which was fantastic conclusion to the story.
After he told us about his story, some history, we got to take a tour of the coffee farm. So we saw all the biodiversity on the farm. There's avocado trees, there's banana trees. The landscape was beautiful. We have some videos we can share.
He has about 20 hectares of land and has coffee and bananas planted there.
And luckily, the day we were there, they were also roasting coffee. So we got to see the coffee farm, the beans in their drying process. He had like 4 different beans, I want to say. And then we also got to see the roasting process,
which was cool. They roast everything in-house on the farm there. So they're doing it in small batches for right now, but as they grow, he's hoping that his son takes over and one day grows it into a large coffee brand, and they're successful at it.
Yeah, it's delicious coffee.
Nonetheless, it's really good coffee, and we got to learn a little bit more about the process of the roasting, and they were doing that in front of us. It smelled really good, and they were like, if it's off by 1 second, the coffee bean can be burnt or not cooked enough. And they grind it there, and they also make cacao as well. Forgot to mention that as one of the crops there. So
they really care about their coffee.
Yeah, so we got to learn all this. At the end of our tour, they cooked us dinner on the farm, which was great. We had some good soup and sancocho soup again. Fantastic, great meal, and we got to eat with Don Leo. We also signed up for paragliding because that was $45. Was it for 2 people or each?
Ooh, I think each, per person. $45 per person
to go paragliding, and one of the pilots actually lived on the farm, which we thought was wild. So the next morning they drove us back into the little town of Buena Vista. where we got to meet up with our pilots for paragliding. That was so much fun. We drove up the mountain in the back of a truck, and in the back of the truck, the pilot is giving us the rundown of the instructions, our safety briefing,
The
how
safety
it's gonna
briefing
work.
was like 5 minutes long.
Yeah,
he
as
was
we're driving
like,
up.
he's like, so I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3. You start running off the mountain, and then you put your legs up, and then when we're done, we're either gonna land by running or on your butt. We're like, anything else? He's like, no, it should be fun.
It was amazing. So we got up there, and there was just such a beautiful view looking off the cliff. You could see the little town of Buena Vista, and it was great.
You could also see the coffee farm that we had just stayed on.
Yeah, so we'll link some of those clips of us paragliding.
Super wow!
¿Estás?
Muy bien.
It's a very good photo that you can have in front and take the photo there.
Ah,
It's so nice. People say, what is this? Where are you sitting?
They were very professional, and it was very safe, which was great. So it was so much fun. The downside to that is we both get motion sickness really easily,
Yeah.
and so we
were feeling it.
Yeah, we got motion sick, and then the pilot was like, take half a Dramamine next time, and your body eventually gets used to it if you're going to continue paragliding. But we took that advice and took some Dramamine on the bus.
Because we paraglided, and then we had to hop on a bus to head to our next destination. So we were like already motion sick, had to get on this tiny little bus where we're already getting motion sickness from the buses. And this bus had some weird things on the seat. We're gonna put a video of it because it was just funny.
Yeah, the buses that we rode, they had like it has like a headrest of sorts. It just looked like a sumo wrestler's underwear on the head seats. One more thing I'd like to add, that these headrests look like underwear. And of course, riding the buses here in Colombia is like a roller coaster every time because of the twists and turns of the terrain.
Yeah.
And the buses are not always updated, or, you know, they're very bouncy. Still, was a great time.
Yeah.
So, guys, we just wanted to mention as well, in terms of our 30-day challenge, filming a video, editing it all in the same day takes a lot of time. We're also working here on the farm as well, so we spend about 5 hours working. Tomorrow we're gonna post a video of our daily routine and what that looks like here on the farm. But what I'm trying to get to, the point I'm trying to make, is that it does take a lot of time and effort to do this. So we're posting the 30-day challenge to kind of find our groove and see what we like to post, if we even like doing it at all. And
we know we didn't post on Saturday, I think is what we're trying to say.
Saturday or Sunday. So
or Sunday.
We're gonna keep chugging along here 5 days a week to get to the 30 videos that we want to ideally get to, but also the creativity that you have to come up with in terms of what you're going to make a video about starts to get challenging after you haven't had any travel experiences. Then it's like, what do you make a video about?
Yeah, totally.
So it's a lot of work, so please be patient with us. If you've liked our videos so far, let us know what you liked about it. Let us know what you think we could improve on, and we're going to keep making these videos, so hope you guys enjoy them.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Tune in tomorrow for the daily routine.
Hasta mañana.
Ciao.